Hello, this is Spellcasters. It's a design from myself, Travis Magrum, and John Gilmour. And this is here to teach you how to play. Now, our example here is partway through a game. We started with our enemy, Scripps the Bee. He had 60 health, but we've knocked him down some. Each player has 5 spells. We start the game with spells that only have one symbol on them and are a lot easier to do. And through the course of the game, we'll be acquiring other spells. Our goal is to get Scripps down to 0 health before we run out of health at the library. We are protecting the library from the monsters that want to destroy it. And we do that by spelling words. So on your player board, you will use your tiles to spell a word, which will determine how many of those you get to use for their magic elements. So I get to, because my word is 6 letters long, I get to use 4 of these tiles to cast my spells. Each player gets a wild that they can use to fill the space, but it cannot be used as a rune. So the 4 that I'd like to use, I want to put these 2 here to cover the requirements for that one. I'm going to put this one here. I'm going to put 1 water and another water here. And that fire is just wasted because I didn't have a way to use that fire other places. I don't have enough fire spells in my setup. The rest of the letters in my word get discarded. And then I get to cast all of those spells. So, the first thing I'm going to do is burn. When I burn, I get to put 3 tokens on that, which will let me do extra damage later. And it also does 2 damage to an enemy. So I'm going to do 2 damage to this little bumblebee and take it off the table. Put that in the discard pile. Then I'm going to do Tsunami. Oh, I don't have enough for Tsunami. But I do have enough for Freeze. So I'm going to freeze Scripps the Bee. I'm going to use one of these tokens to do an extra damage. So it takes 5 damage, down to 18. And the monster that's damaged by this can't use their ability until the start of the next turn. Now, exactly. At the end of my turn, we look at all of the enemy things that are out. Scripps' attack only happens when his special card comes out from the deck. But we look at Kerblamo. There are still counters on it, so we remove a counter. Once we remove all of the counters, then it will be doing 2 damage every turn. There are 2 types of enemy cards. There are boss enemy attacks, like Kerblamo. For each one of those, you need to spell a certain type of word in order to get rid of it before the timer counts down. Once it counts down, we're going to start taking a lot of damage every turn. The other ones are little minions, like this. They have their own health marker, and they say how much damage they do at the end of a round. The little bumblebees are not a big threat on their own. They don't do any damage each turn. But Scripps, when Scripps gets to attack from the special cards in the deck, then it does 1 damage for every bee that's in play, including itself. So having a lot of little bumblebees will be a problem if they're out when that card happens. So, at the end of my turn, we get 1 more monster card. And it is a special attack. However, we prevented that from happening. So we don't have to worry about Scripps' attack right now. At the end of my turn, I draw 4 more tiles from the bag. And I can use those, as well as my wild, to spell a word. If I had not used all of my tiles on my turn, I can keep up to 3 of them, and I can use them for the next round for spelling words. If you look at John's board over there, he has spelled Zap. He still has an extra tile left over, and he chose not to use his wild. But Zap is an onomatopoeia, so we get rid of this card, and we don't have to worry about it. And John, you'll get to use 1 of those tiles. Okay, the other 2 get discarded. And you'll get to cast all of the spells that you have put runes on.
So I'll cast this one, which allows me to draw an extra tile at the end of the turn. I don't have any damage, unfortunately. But hopefully I'll have a good turn.
So it'll just do those two. Taking strips down to 16. So instead of drawing 4, John drew 5, the extra one from Gust. Plus he got to keep that J from last turn, so he has more tiles to work with. There are no enemy attacks out on the board, so John has nothing to worry about. We're keeping things safe. And another card comes out. This is Wealth. We have to spell a luxury word within 2 turns. Play continues until either the library is hit for 10 damage or Scripts the Bee is down to 0 health.
Each player has asymmetric powers, so if you look at my map here, it says I'm going to use my letters to help other players spell words on their turn. So for example, on Travis's turn, he doesn't have a wide variety of letters, but I can lend him my letters to help him spell a better word. His special power is that his rune track is better than other players. So for example, when I spell a 4-letter word, I only get to put one of those runes down. And my maximum amount of runes that I can play in a turn is 4. His goes all the way to 6 and is much more aggressive. So players can help each other spell because it's a cooperative game. We can point out words to each other. I can lend using my power. So there's a lot of support for players and help support a wide range of skill sets.
The game length is typically about 45 minutes, and the youngest group that we've played with, I have played this with a 10-year-old, but we have not done extensive age limit testing.
Well, you have our email addresses, so if you have any further questions, please contact us. We'll be happy to provide print and play files for the game or whatever you need. Thank you very much.
Thank you.